Phoenix, Arizona, 13. března 1997.
Hrozně jsem se lekla. Proboha, to letadlo padá.
Přeletělo to přímo nade mnou, ze severu na jih.
Tisíce lidí už si na obloze všimlo nevysvětlitelných úkazů.
Přeletělo to úplně neslyšně nad mým domem.
Tento případ zůstává jedním z nejmasovějších pozorování UFO nad velkoměstskou oblastí.
Říkala jsem si, že jsem nic tak obrovského nikdy neviděla.
Tohle pozorování potvrdil nejméně jeden pilot dopravního letadla.
Přeletělo to přímo nad námi. Měl jsem dojem, že je to na dosah ruky.
Podobné video natočené o několik let dříve.
Nic neslyším, ty ano?
Ne, já taky ne. Co to sakra je?
Je to obrovské. Přišla jsem hned za Monikou a taky jsem to viděla. Letělo to přes hory a bylo to skoro tak velké jako jeden z kopců. A letělo to hodně nízko.
Letělo to po obloze a zakrývalo to hvězdy. Mělo to takový zvláštní tvar.
Bylo to spíš jako bumerang, než jako véčko. A mělo to rovnoměrně rozmístěná světla.
Bylo to 5 světel, které tvořily tvar písmene V. Jedno vepředu a 2 po každé straně. Byl to naprosto dokonalý trojúhelník.
Bylo to veliké jako hora a letělo to na Scottsdale Road. Bylo to opravdu něco mimořádného.
Bylo to tak veliké, že kdybychom takhle rozevřeli noviny, stejně bychom to přes ně viděli.
Lidi mi říkají, že jsem viděl bombardér B-2, jenže na jediném křídle toho, co jsem viděl, by mohlo parkovat všech našich 40 bombardérů.
Byla to jedna z největších věcí, jaké jsem kdy viděl, která se takhle pohybovala. Bylo to prostě obrovské.
Včera večer spatřili očití svědkové něco, co ještě nikdy předtím neviděli.
Nevím, jestli to bylo velké jako mateřská letadlová loď. Mohlo být, protože já loď nikdy na vlastní oči letět neviděl.
Skoro to do té hory narazilo.
Vážně?
Přeletělo to úplně těsně nad ní.
Takže kdybyste se nepodívala nahoru, vůbec byste si toho nevšimla?
Všimla si toho moje dcera, bylo 8:30 večer, právě k nám přišla na návštěvu, vrazila do dveří a povídá: mami, to musíš vidět. Vyběhli jsme ven.
Tehdy v roce 1998 byl okolo tohoto pozorování takový rozruch, že jsme vás o tom také museli informovat. První zpráva o podivném létajícím objektu přišla toho večera od bývalého policisty z Poldenu v Arizoně. Následujících 40 minut přicházely další zprávy o pozorování podivného létajícího objektu na trase dlouhé přes 350 kilometrů.
Mělo to takovou ocelovou barvu a zářilo to. Nebylo to neviditelné, spíš tlumeně modročerné.
And he went to humorous and controversial lengths not to stir the pot. He held a news conference after the Phoenix lights to announce the mystery had been solved.
And now I'll ask Officer Stein and his colleagues to escort the accused into the room so that we may all look upon the guilty party. Don't get him too close to me, please.
In the alien costume, the governor's chief of staff.
This just goes to show that you guys are entirely too serious.
UFO enthusiasts were not amused, especially since the governor was believed to have seen nothing. But now he's coming out.
I'm Fife Symington. In 1997, during my second term as governor of Arizona, I saw something that defied logic and challenged my reality. I witnessed a massive delta-shaped craft that silently navigated over the Squaw Peak area in North Phoenix in the evening, and it was truly breathtaking. To my astonishment, it appeared to be a solid structure. It was huge. It had a very distinctive leading edge with huge embedded lights in it, and it was just traveling quietly, made no sound, through the Arizona night sky. I still don't know what it was. As a pilot and a former Air Force officer, I can definitively say that this craft did not resemble any man-made object that I'd ever seen. And it was certainly not high-altitude flares as put out by the Air Force at Luke Air Force Base, because I've never seen flares fly in formation. The incident was witnessed by hundreds, if not thousands, of people in Maricopa County and in southern Arizona, and my office was besieged with phone calls from very concerned citizens. The growing hysteria intensified when the story broke nationally, and so I decided to lighten the mood of the state, and I called a press conference where I dressed up my chief of staff in a Martian outfit. It was meant to be a spoof, a good-natured spoof. That worked. We managed to lessen the sense of panic at the time, but I also upset quite a few of my constituents. Well, I'd like now to set the record straight. I never meant to ridicule anyone. My office did make inquiries as to the origin of the craft, but to this day they remain unanswered. Eventually, the Air National Guard claimed responsibility, stating that their pilots had been dropping flares. They also, another individual from Tucson said that A-10s had been flying in formation over Maricopa County, but those of us in the Air Force, and those of you who know about A-10s, they're called the Warthog, it's a tank-killing aircraft, know that it's the noisiest machine in the sky, and there's no way that a flight of A-10s could come over Maricopa County and be quiet. That just doesn't work. So we get these explanations that fly in the face of facts, explanations like weather balloons, swamp gas, military flares, and hardware and software problems. I was never happy with this silly explanation. There might very well have been military flares in the sky that evening, but that sure wasn't what I and what hundreds of my fellow citizens saw. Well, I now know that I'm not alone in witnessing something extraordinary. That's the bottom line. There are many high-ranking military, aviation, and government officials, many of whom are here today, who share my concerns. Some of them have truly exceptional stories to tell. There's absolutely no doubt as to the veracity of what these men have told you. They have fought in wars, they have guarded top-secret weapons, and they've flown countless passengers throughout the world's skies. Incidents like these are not going away. 1 year ago, Chicago's O'Hare Airport experienced a UFO event that made national and international headlines. Pilots and many other airline employees observed a metallic-looking disc hovering over the United Airlines terminal for several minutes, and then it shot straight up into the sky, cut a hole in the sky, disappeared. The FAA apparently did not investigate, dismissed the sightings as weather. We want the United States government to stop perpetuating the myth that all UFOs can be explained away in down-to-earth and conventional terms. Instead, our country needs to reopen its official investigation that it shut down in 1969. The United States government can no longer shun an international dialogue about this phenomenon, and we invite the government to work in cooperation with countries as represented on both sides of me here today. When it comes to events of this nature, dealing with the great unknown, we deserve, I believe, more openness and a serious pursuit of the facts by our government. Thank you very much.
Every news agency, every television, radio station in the Albuquerque or Santa Fe area had our snitches in there. So we knew, and we paid them. We paid them good money. One of the reasons you get the people is you pay them, and that was controversial. That was somewhat controversial.
Do you know of national media that have had?
Oh, yes, yeah. I'm not going to name them.
Reporters for Time magazine who told me specifically that they've provided the stories and their editors have spiked them.
Yeah, the high-level producers and directors. Yeah.
And how were they paid for the
cash? Yeah, you pay. What you do is you make them sign a form and you tell them you got to report this to IRS. But whether they do it or not, you're not going to give your form to IRS. I paid. I better not say. Some of them are large.
If you